Sup everybody, this is Karak with ACG, and this video isn't sponsored by Loot Crate. If you want loot crates in your game, we're the middleware to use. We skip the middleman by having the loot crates just open up more loot crates. Blue, green, red, silver, bronze, and platinum. Our crates are guaranteed to drive susceptible minds wild, and there's something inside each crate because apparently that means it's not gambling. Is it useful? Hell no, but that hasn't stopped anybody else yet. So if you want to monetize your monetary monetization and make sure your crates have a great purchase rate, use Crate, screwing over gamers since Pink Darth Vader was a thing. All fake sponsors aside, you come here for reviews that aren't 2 minutes long or filled with sponsored bullcrap, and today I'm taking a look at Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Episode 5. So let's see if Jesse, Petra, and the other team of super aliased heroes can actually succeed against the evil meta bad guy known as the Admin, who has now taken over Jesse's old hometown. Episode 5 is going to be available December 19th on, well, pretty much every system out there that exists. As always, if you like the video, maybe subscribe. So here's my review for Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Episode 5. Uncomfortable hugs, even in digital form, llamas or asshats, and the evils of RGB addiction. Graphics start first. Now, as you guys know, I have covered many of these episodes before in the past and in the past season, and this one, really nothing on the technical end has changed, nor stylistically for that matter. What does matter and what does change in these games is moving forward through different environments artistically, and if they keep the gamer interested. And in the past episodes of this season, Minecraft has been very hit and miss, especially compared to the grandeur of the first season, which really was like some kind of blocky version of the Odyssey, taking on the mantle of Jesse, picking up your armor, grabbing your favorite Warwick Davis sidekick, and then exploring an interesting world together, while occasionally sword fighting. Now, Season 2 has tried that, but that meta plot with the Admin has sort of cramped the exploratory style. One way that is offset in this episode is to see the changes that evil has wrought on the land, and going out and seeing your old hometown and seeing your statue you built in the far earlier episodes, and yet everything from color to just overall feel in the town is substantially warped over to the dark side, and I actually did like that element here. It's no great shakes though, but for me this last episode at least tried a couple things different, and while not sticking for a long period of time in any one of the unique places, a few did stand out. Now, without doing any spoilers, I can just say I also like the very few last locations. Overall, though, I'd say nothing new technically, but maybe a bit more interesting on the artistic side here, and performance is exactly the same as it has been. Sound, music, and voice.
I was almost expecting, I don't know, another huge boss battle or something when we got in here.
Yeah, the admin definitely seems to like those. But nothing.
Nah, it's kind of hard to relax when you're in the middle of infiltrating a humongous tower, owned by a deadly madman as you try to find his office and take away his powers.
That's fair.
You know what? Let's do music first. This series has always been a little bit everywhere for me. I dig the theme song though, for some reason. It's like a dopier version of the Digital Underground got baked and then sat down at the keyboard. Now I have to say, a couple horror theme tracks, or at the very least some of the more moody ones as you travel to places unknown and possibly hazardous to your health, did work really well for me. At times though, this is a little bit like everybody's leaning on a synth and Fruity Loops like a goddamn CPR machine, and I would really like a bit of different experimentation here, especially when it comes to instrument choice. Overall, I would say the music is about where we would expect it, which is pretty much average. Let's talk about voice next. First, Oswald seems to have really come a long way from trying to outproject everyone else as Jesse, and sure, some of that was environmental and what's going on, but a lot of it seems to be more of a comfort thing, and the admin is also excellent, both from the lines and delivery standpoint, but also the changes in attitude that happen, and even more so, little effects on the voice, mostly digital and post-processing. I can't spoil anything, but there are a couple various changes throughout, and I think they did a pretty good job for a title like this. Less side characters get a chance to shine here in this particular episode, but Radar continues to always be like that one friend you dig, but you don't really want him as your wingman because he may like you more than anyone you guys meet. That kind of hero worship is really handled well here and changes somewhat on your decisions, but I like the fact that it was occasionally frustrating. Overall, I'd say voices, pretty good. And of course that brings us to sound. This is typical Minecraft story mode, meaning some of it is cribbed directly from the game and some are new sounds. One of the battles though, you're power fisting your way through an enemy's defenses, and the processing effects did a really good job helping that location feel like it was bigger, and that battle was more climatic. Overall though, I'd say the sound pretty much where we expect, which is average. Gameplay, and of course a bit about the story. So this last episode, you see Jesse and those left in his little band of whittled down wonder friends heading out into the hometown to see what evil the admin has wrought on Jesse's absence. Before moving on to everything else, I have to say there's one spectacular highlight here. It's a short-lived Mission Impossible moment that made me really sit up and go, oh wow, this needs to happen more. Overall, I'd say most of the story is Jesse and friends planning out how to defeat the admin and what to do if they're successful, but I liked that moment. We've seen it somewhat in other games, but I think here it just resonated with me. Now, as we know from the past episodes, Telltale doesn't shy away from slightly more adult fare in its emotional treatment here in Minecraft, like jealousy, outright hatred, and pretty much everything in between. And I dig that because I've never really felt that Minecraft needed to be locked behind some kiddie mental floodgate, because if you've watched a single Rick and Morty, you're farther into the dark recesses of what humans are capable of than your parents probably are at all. Now, all that being said, you're looking at about 1 hour and 45 minutes of game time here, a couple puzzles, very simple, and the aforementioned short Mission Impossible moment that I really did like. For me, episode 5 is not going to change your mind on a series like this, and even the end battle, which is handled fairly well for a Telltale game, it still leaves a bit of an odd taste in your mouth. Well, I think they wrapped up the story okay, but they did leave you with that feeling like, what else is here? Even with the major decisions at the end, it's like a party that doesn't end with a bang, but with people just filtering out, because you know what? Bed is a more enjoyable prospect. Emotionally, I would have liked this to have ended on a higher note, just to sort of keep you interested in what's going on. Fun factor. Telltale games are all about the IP and how they use them. Is this an interesting game in the Minecraft world that isn't Minecraft? Sometimes, and sometimes not, and certainly nowhere near as much as Season 1. It doesn't mean it's not fun from a purely narrative point of view to see where everybody's going, but the creation and split and reflection of a team of adventurers who saw success for the first time and then sort of fell apart in that first season was excellent. It's not at all reflected here. That brings us to the score. Now, as you guys know, I rate these kind of games more on a jump into it right now or wait until it's over or wait until the next episode kind of rating scale. And this one is actually a wait for a sale despite it being over. It's not necessarily terrible in any means. I just personally believe it's one of their more average games. And in many ways, it's sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy, where that different level of interactivity sort of changes with each one of these episodes. And in this particular one and the way it ends and the overall feeling, it just didn't really work for me. That's it for me. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. In the description box here, you can see the Reddit and the Patreon. Patreon is how I continue to give you guys reviews that aren't 2 minutes long or filled with sponsored bullcrap. Also, the Amazon link is there if you want to use it for Christmas. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your week.